I'd also like to bring in on this broadcast Mr. Saugata Roy, to suspended MP. He's been suspended today for being a part of the protest that we witnessed in Lok Sabha. Mr. Saugata Roy, good evening. You've, of course, been a part of parliamentary proceedings for the last many years, sir. Have you ever seen something like this, of nearly 100 MPs being suspended?
No, I have never seen. No, I have never seen something like this. As Rajdeep pointed out, that during 2009 to 2014, BJP was in the opposition, and day after day they disrupted the house. The government did not take such action against them. Here what happens? The security breach takes place inside Lok Sabha. Two people jump into the well of the house from the visitors gallery. It is obviously a major security breach, failure of both the Parliament Secretariat and the Home Ministry. All that the opposition demanded is that there should be a statement from the Home Minister. Also, that the MP from BJP who had issued the passes to these two intruders should be suspended. Now, none of this was listened to. On the first count, the government moved a motion to suspend 14 MPs. And then today, when the opposition was protesting against the suspension, they suspended 33 more MPs, bringing the total number in Lok Sabha to 46. A similar situation happened in the Rajya Sabha. So the total number of people suspended is 46 plus 46, 92.
Correct, sir.
This is taking out the whole opposition from the Parliament, an effort to throttle the voice of the Parliament and for the government to get their legislative business through without any opposition, without proper debate, passing bills in the din. So this is a totally undemocratic, anti-democratic step by the government which reveals their mindset.
Mr. Roy,
is obviously anti-democratic.
Sir,
That's
can
why
you also
they should
explain
be
what is the opposition's answer when the government says that what the opposition was doing, including you, Mr. Roy, of storming the well of the House, holding up placards, is unparliamentary and it warrants suspension of this kind, mass suspension of this kind?
No. What the government is saying is bogus, because the same BJP people earlier disrupted Parliament for whole session. During the UPA rule, they washed out the whole session of Parliament. So this is bogus. Getting into the well or carrying placards is nothing new in Parliament. It's, as Arun Jaitley used to say, disruption is a part of proceedings. So this disruption is bound to happen when the government is not letting the Home Minister making a statement, when it is not punishing the BJP MP Pratap Simha who issued the visitors card, then there must be some method of opposition protest, and that is what happened. I am not used to doing these things. I have never been suspended before, but today I felt that the Rubicon has been crossed. Protest must take place.
But Mr. Roy,
in a democracy, the opposition must assert its voice.
Sure, sir. But you know, a few days back you had MPs being suspended. After that, has there been a lack of communication? Is that also a serious problem here that we're facing in Parliament between the government and the opposition, that there's no communication where a middle ground can be reached on these kind of issues so that proceedings of the House aren't affected, so business goes on?
You know, on the first day when this intrusion took place, the Speaker did call an all-party meeting. That's all. But he followed it up by suspending opposition MPs. So the discussion was not held, and the Parliamentary Affairs Minister seems to be specializing in bringing motions to suspend the opposition. We called him the suspension minister, Mr. Prahlad Joshi. There was no effort to discuss, and when discussed with him informally, he said, "Abhi Modi ka jaira koi rok nahi sakta." This is the arrogance born out of the 3 victories in state assembly election. Government has totally gone berserk. totally arrogant,
Okay.
totally wayward. That's why they're doing what they're doing.
All right, let's see what happens in the remainder of the session. Thank you, Mr. Saugata Roy, for joining us here on India Today. I appreciate you taking the time out of joining us. But what Mr. Saugata Roy and many of the opposition members maintain is that the reason there's no middle ground reached is because the government is completely inaccessible.